Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. The next video that you're about to see was actually recorded thinking it was going to go on my vlog channel, but because it fits perfectly in this series of working through grief, I'm going to go ahead and post it here. But I wanted to let everybody know that it's a little bit of an emotional and raw video. It's kind of all over the place, but it is a really good insight into how I was processing things. And I think that's important to know, for you guys to know how I was processing things for a couple of reasons. A, it could help you process something in the future, or if you're processing it like me, you don't think you're strange or alone. But B, it also shows you why I felt uncomfortable to share things at the time. Now that I'm coming through to the other side of all of it, it's better for me to share it now that I can see that it's the process that actually is working for me. So forgive my cleaning my house look right now, and enjoy. Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel, Vlogsters. No coffee today. It's 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Yesterday I went to Starbucks to earn some points, and I ended up having to buy, well, not having to buy, but I ended up buying double coffees. Last night I had a cold brew, which is like a keto, well, they were both keto, but last night I had a cold brew, and I had the latte left over. Sorry about this. So I've had my coffee already, and it was a latte, and I have a lot of energy, and I'll tell you everything if you just give me 2 seconds to tell you that today I'm going to work. So there's no coffee. This isn't a coffee chat. This is just a my head is and I wanted to share it with you. Look at my hair. Looks great. So I know I've said this before and I sound like a broken record. Sorry, I'm trying to open wood glue. My husband has decided that he never wants to clean off the wood glue when he's done using it. No, I got him. Actually, to be honest with you, that's not what I was going to say. That is true, but that's not what I was going to say. I was going to say he usually takes my pliers, but I did find them. There's so much going on and nothing going on. Have you guys been there? Are you there now? Hi. Okay, so the first thing is I couldn't sleep last night. I don't know why. I'm sure it's everything that I'm going through with my brother's passing. So I am dealing with a lot of crazy thoughts. Not like bad or anything. I don't want you to think like, don't worry like about me like that. I'm just really, at times I really am struggling. I am really struggling to make sense. Not even to solve or fix or at this point do anything like that. You know, it's not at this point even about that. It's not about trying to fix it or solve it. At this point, it's just trying to get some understanding. You know, I think when people die, we sometimes have that, you know, that need for understanding anyway, like in general. Sorry, I'm trying to find the chip on this wood and which way the wood's gonna go. Okay. So sometimes we have there's that need for understanding. You know, we trying to make sense of why somebody's so young. Why did this person not take better care? Not about my brother necessarily, but the things that we can wonder about sometimes. We'd be like, why so young? Why alone? Why did this person not take better care of themselves? Where was his support system? Where was, you know, like, what was he thinking? What was he feeling? Any of those things you can kind of like, you really can get stuck in it. If you allow yourself to, you can get stuck in it. But you really have got, or I have to really have got, let me just say that. I can't really speak for anybody else anyway. But I really have got to try to really try to understand. I mean, I can be resolved someday with not knowing the whys and stuff. Like, I'm resolved now to understand that I will never understand the complexities of why he chose the things that he chose and did the things that he did. But that doesn't mean I still don't want to ask, and it doesn't mean I still don't want answers, just because I can say, there's a good chance you're never going to get them. Because when I say there's a good chance you're never going to get them, that means there's still a chance that I will get them. So as much as it is like you don't want to like believe in absolutes, or there are no absolutes, I say that all the time. Normally that's for the benefit of my mental health or your mental health. But the fact that there are no absolutes actually works in my favor now, because now I could say, maybe he was just struggling, and maybe it had nothing to do with me, and maybe it had everything to do with me, and maybe that's really selfish of me to think that it had anything to do with me. And how far did it go? And that's another thing. So how far it went really was kind of like what I'm kind of dealing with now is I had no idea how far it went. And what I mean by that is like, okay, so my brother didn't talk to me since I moved here. About 2 weeks after I moved here, it was the last time I talked to him. I've mentioned it before in previous vlogs that we messaged once when he was helping me pick out a computer per my sister's behest. Once he shared his ancestry DNA with me as per my sister's behest, but didn't converse, just sent the DNA stuff to me. And then once he wished me a happy birthday at my sister's behest. So that being said, and I can understand my family's feelings. I can understand what their reasonings are, but I can't accept them just yet. And what I mean by that is like, nobody wanted to address the problem with him. Why aren't you speaking to Jeri? Because for fear that he would then not speak to them. And I get that fear. There is two things really that I'm struggling with about that. Is like, first of all, before I moved, I felt like that was my role. It was my role to be like, even though I'm a sibling, to be like the parent, even though I was not his parent, to remind him to do the responsible things, if that makes any sense. So I'm dealing with that whole sense of like, guilt is it, but also just that sense of like, shoulda, coulda, woulda, like that kind of thing. But I also know that if I was there, I would be the one to say, what is wrong with you? Why are you not talking to your sister? And if he would have threatened for a second to keep it up, or I'm gonna not talk to you anymore, then I would have like stood on his doorstep, or you know what I mean? Like, and I'm not blaming my sisters at all. Oh, please don't even think for 2 seconds that I hold any of them responsible. I feel 100% responsible myself. I mean, that's the thing. So like the leaving part, I feel like, well, I had to do what I had to do for my mental health, and I had to do what I had to do for my family. Jim's mental health. Sorry, I did mention I was going to be repairing some stuff. I was going to be working while we were talking. So forgive me if I trail off, because then, you know, sometimes I'm just gathering a thought, or if it doesn't make sense to me or whatever. This is the skull wreath that I did for Collaboween 2 years ago. I made this really cute skull wreath with crossbones, with a crossbones bow. It's a tiny one. It was when they first came out with the 2 wreaths for $1, 8-inch wreaths. But we had 2 men down, including the bow, the man that the skull and bones bow. So I am having trouble with that. I'm having trouble with that because I feel like I abandoned the situation, and I abandoned him. And when I went back in 2013 to move my stuff, and I went back in 2014 to visit, I was trying to give him space. I didn't go to where he was and demand he speak to me. So, and then, I don't know, it's like my own pride, or I kind of sometimes feel like I'm the kind of person who not want to be in a club where they don't want you to be a member. You know what I mean? Like, I am confident that I don't want to be where people don't want me to be, you know? So when my cousin was getting married, and I was not close with him necessarily, I babysat for him when he was little, and we had like just like we were cousins. And I really wanted to go to his wedding. I had I wasn't working, and I had like airline miles and stuff. So I was like, I could fly for free. And it was like right after my bankruptcy. And nobody had a place for me to stay, which was so weird to me, like my brothers and sisters. And I'm like, I slept on a couch till I was 18 and a half years old. I'm okay to crash on your couch. Like, I don't need the plaza. And I couldn't afford a hotel room, so I just didn't go. Because again, I felt unwanted. And it was kind of like that whole, I don't want to go someplace where I'm not wanted. I don't want that stubborn. Is that what you want to say? That's fine. We can say that. I just am like that. You know, I always have been. You know, when I was growing up and I was picked on and teased on, you know, the kids were relentless. And I often felt like I didn't belong there. You know, probably one of the reasons why I was so clinging to the country life or moving. My father used to call it the wanderlust. You guys never actually saw this DIY. I did this before my channel, but it was just a wreath I made out of creepy cloth. You see that? Like, put creepy cloth like it was mesh. It's fallen apart, so that's why I was like, let me fix it, do it or whatever. And then I don't even know, I might just take it apart. All the creepy cloth from this like one area looks like it's just gonzo. And on top of that, I think the wire broke, because the wire was holding these 2 hands together. The wire was holding these 2 hands together. And I think like the wire broke, because now not only are the 2 hands are not together, but all the mesh that was covering that area, not mesh, but the creepy cloth, is gone. So I wonder if I just throw some, I like the strings all woven in there. I think I'm just gonna throw some wire in there. So, I mean, I just feel like I kind of like always felt like I didn't really fit in. You know, not in New York, I tried really hard when I was in my 20s to make myself fit in. I tried to be everybody's everything. Oh, you need a babysitter? I'm there. Oh, you need somebody to set up for the party? I'm there. You need somebody to personalize a Christmas ornament? I'm there. I'll do that for you. You need somebody to paint your nursery? I'm there. I can totally be there. But what turns out is like I really just never felt like there was a place for me in my family. yeah, when I was in my 20s, I was a little lost. I wasn't a little lost, I was very lost. And I went through some other stuff, like with personal, type things. And, that definitely defined me in a way that I didn't expect. I thought my life was going to go in one direction and it went in another. So you're like, oh, okay, well, I didn't expect that to happen. So let's just deal with that first or whatever. Yeah, so I was kind of lost. And as far as my immediate brothers and sisters are concerned, like my immediate brothers and sisters, what does that even mean? As far as my brothers and sisters are concerned, I did feel like I was a little bit on the outside. And I don't say like, oh, I did that to myself either. Like, okay, so my sisters were all 1 year apart from each other. So they spent most of their school days going to school together. My brother was probably felt like a little bit on his own too, except my mother had him when she was very young, and they were like really friends more than just like parents. Like, I know that sounds silly because your parent, but my mother really treated him more like a friend, and he could do no wrong, and the boys and the whole thing. So I know he probably doesn't feel that way, but we have a different perspective as outside people than people do from the inside. Look, it's all together now. Okay. So, that was actually like the last one that I had to do, which is kind of cool. Oh, poop, I left a paintbrush. Dang it. Okay. So, my 3 sisters were in school together. My brother was older, but like really was friends and was very social with my mom. My dad was an only child, so like he went to work with my brother every day for years and years and years. So they had their own relationship. It was just weird. Like, I felt like as we got older, I was closer to my dad as a friend than I was to necessarily my sisters. Sisters are sisters, so it's like you always have them, and they're there, and they have some shared experiences. But what I'm learning now as we're adults is that we all had very different experiences, and that's my Aunt Mary says. Everybody has to have their own experience. When I was little, my cousins lived with us, and I was very close to my cousin, who was the same age as my sister Julie, but we played a lot together because like he was the only boy that was little, and he didn't go hang out with the girls kind of thing. And then he was left with me left over or whatever. But he moved out when I was like 7, so after that it was like different. I mean, it's really one of the reasons that I found my friends that I clung to so tightly is each one of them in their family is also, and I'm not the black sheep because I just don't fit in my family like I'm sorry. I just don't fit in my family. I guess I feel like I should. And neither do my besties. They also love their siblings, but also don't feel like they fit in their families. And they both come from relatively large families too. I mean, not as large as mine. It's like 4, and then there's 5. Oh, that's weird. And then I have 6. That's weird. That's weird. But when sorry. when Rob passed away, I will tell you, I don't feel like I need to be so far away right now. However, I feel it's a little dollar short and a day late. Also, look at pictures of my brother in the last 7 years and I say, I don't even know who that is. I don't recognize him. Anyhow, I'm sorry that just took a right off the cliff, because I don't really even know what I was trying to say. So I apologize for that. I don't know what I was trying to say. Anyhow, okay. I am done repairing some stuff. This was a very unusual roller coaster of a ride, and if I go to edit it and I realize that I was mid-thought and catch my thought again, maybe I'll jump back on and finish it. But for now, I really just wanted to come on here and to talk to you guys about like how my brain is everywhere and nowhere at the same time, how I'm busy doing nothing. And I know that sounds like an oxymoron. It's a contradiction in terms. It really is. But I feel like I'm busy doing nothing. Like, I have no time and nothing but time. So it's kind of this really messed up scenario. That's all I could say. So I will talk to you guys soon. Hopefully tomorrow, or when you're seeing this on the 21st. The 21st is Jim's birthday. I don't know when I'm gonna upload this, so if I do upload it on the 21st, make sure you head over to his channel or his Instagram or his Facebook. Just wish him a happy birthday. This is his last birthday in the 40s. Next year's the big one, his big 50. So I would really appreciate the love, and so would he, because he loves the love. So I love you guys, and thank you for listening to me be a crazy person for a minute, or 21, or 22. As always, you guys take care. God bless. I'll see you next time. Bye.